Good morning, and welcome to Super Bowl 53 here in Atlanta. I'm Dolores Stabella from the National Football League. Today, we are pleased to share with you important developments in the NFL's efforts to fight criminal enterprises that are preying on NFL fans and their enthusiasm for the game by trafficking in counterfeit merchandise and tickets, including the counterfeit NFL merchandise you see here below on the stage. We at the NFL are fortunate to have the support of both federal and state law enforcement agencies in Atlanta. Joining us today to speak about Operation Team Player, a nationwide law enforcement effort to disrupt the sale of counterfeit sports merchandise and tickets, are Nick Annan, Special Agent in Charge for Homeland Security Investigations in Atlanta, Robert Perez, Deputy Commissioner for U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Major Richard Mason of the Atlanta Police Department, Bill McSwain from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, Joseph Bushner, Assistant Special Agent in Charge for the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Philadelphia, Michael Buchwald from the NFL. Our message to fans: watch out for criminals who are looking to scam consumers and illegally profit off the popularity of the NFL, your home team, and the Super Bowl. Don't put yourself at risk. Buy authentic NFL established retailers and online shops, and beware of phony websites, ads, and marketplace listings that sell counterfeit merchandise and can put your financial information in the wrong hands. Counterfeiting crimes don't only prey on the fans, but they also hurt the local businesses, the legitimate retailers, and the licensees who support the local economy and play by the rules. Over the last several decades, and leading up to this Super Bowl 53, the NFL has worked to give its fans an authentic NFL experience and protect them from the sale of counterfeit merchandise through civil enforcement efforts and through close collaboration with law enforcement, including the agencies here on the stage. We are pleased to report that for the 30th year, the NFL has obtained a civil court order to assist in the immediate seizure of counterfeit NFL merchandise and counterfeit tickets discovered in Atlanta and the surrounding counties during Super Bowl week. Protecting our fans continues to be a top priority over Super Bowl weekend, just as it has been year-round. The NFL supports criminal and civil enforcement efforts across the country and the globe in both the brick-and-mortar and e-commerce space. For example, over the last year alone, the NFL has enforced against more than 250,000 counterfeit e-commerce listings, ads, sites, and sellers. The NFL remains committed to a broad range of consumer protection measures. And now I'll turn it over to my colleague, Michael Buchwald, to discuss our effort of counterfeit Super Bowl tickets.
Thank you, Dolores. With all the energy and excitement building ahead of Sunday's game, we wanted to take this moment to remind fans to be careful of con artists selling counterfeit Super Bowl tickets. Every year we see fans who arrive at the stadium on game day only to be turned away at the gates because they bought counterfeit tickets. The quality of counterfeit tickets can be very sophisticated, but no matter how real the tickets may look, a fake ticket will not get you into the game. That's why we strongly discourage fans from buying tickets from any suspicious sources. Even if a ticket looks real, it could have been reported lost or stolen, which means the person holding it may not be granted entry into the stadium. The only way to ensure that you are buying the real thing is to buy tickets from reliable sources, like the NFL Ticket Exchange, On Location, or established ticket retailers that you can trust. In order to curtail criminals' ability to create fake tickets, the NFL has implemented a number of special security features in each authentic Super Bowl ticket. As you can see, the front of the ticket includes custom clear polymer graphics with a raised appearance that you can see and feel. The back of each ticket also contains a true color security label, this year with images of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the LIII Roman numerals, the Super Bowl 53 logo, the Wilson football, and the text Super Bowl 53 Atlanta in the top right. Thermochromic ink is also used on the graphic on the lower part of the ticket back. The line pattern and the Super Bowl 53 wording along the side will fade when heat is applied and will return when the heat's removed. Again, our message is simple. Don't put yourself at risk. Watch out for criminals who are looking to scam you. And buy tickets only from reliable sources. We'd now like to invite Nick Annan, Special Agent in charge for HSI in Atlanta, to tell us about his agency's work in Operation Team Player.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Dolores, as well. Good morning. As you said, my name is Nick Annan, and I am the Special Agent in charge for Homeland Security Investigations here in Atlanta, Georgia. I like to think of DHS's involvement in the Super Bowl as part of a team effort. Homeland Security Investigations and its law enforcement partners here on the podium are part of Operation Team Player, built to protect you from counterfeits and individuals and organizations that make and sell them. So let me assure you that those who make counterfeit goods are not part of that team. They will sell you counterfeit goods and equipment with no regard for your health or well-being. They will sell you counterfeit jerseys knowing that they will fall apart, and they will sell you counterfeit tickets for thousands of dollars knowing you will not get in the game. With kickoff less than 72 hours away, I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you the results of Operation Team Player for this year. Team Player has targeted international shipments of counterfeit sports-related merchandise as they enter the United States and the criminals that make and sell those goods. The operation is run from our National Intellectual Property Rights Center out of Washington, D.C., which stands at the forefront of the United States government's response to global intellectual property theft. Through the year, we've identified discount malls, pop-up sales, online stores, and street vendors selling counterfeit goods and tickets throughout the country, including many of the items that you see displayed here today. What you see here is only a small part of the vast amount of counterfeit merchandise and clothing confiscated by Homeland Security and its partners, with collaboration with the NFL. Make no mistake, though, counterfeit goods are not a victimless crime. The illicit proceeds resulting from their sale are funneled back to support a broad range of crimes. The manufacture and sale of counterfeit goods is a predatory practice that endangers our economy and restricts the competitiveness of U.S. products. And it takes advantage of you, the individuals, the fans that want to be part of the team. So in closing, in between Super Bowl 52 and today's Super Bowl 53, Homeland Security Investigations, along with Customs and Border Protection and our other law enforcement partners, have seized nearly 285,000 counterfeits with a total manufacturer MSRP of over $24 million. So, thank you for your time.
Next we hear from Robert Perez from Customs and Border Protection.
Thank you, Dolores. Good morning, folks. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, Michael. Thanks to the NFL for your ongoing collaboration and partnership. I am Robert Perez. I'm the Deputy Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. I'd also like to thank all our federal and state and local partners that are with us here today, all working together to make sure that we have a safe and secure event here at Super Bowl 53. As the largest federal law enforcement agency in the country, U.S. Customs and Border Protection is really a multifaceted national security agency with a myriad of critically important primary missions. We are proud to be able to security lay down here into the Super Bowl to include our efforts in securing the airspace, the cargo screening for all the merchandise that's coming into the venue, some of the venue security, as well as helping to man alongside the Atlanta PD and some of our other partners, the emergency operations centers and the like throughout the city. But we're here to talk to you about a very particularly important aspect of the CBP mission, and that is protecting the U.S. economy by facilitating the flow of legitimate international trade while also enforcing our trade laws, which are particularly, again, an important part of the overall CBP mission. Last year alone, Customs and Border Protection processed over $2.3 trillion of international trade arriving across our borders. in the mail, at express consignment facilities, through the air, through trucks and rail cars, the like, and ongoing sea ocean containers numbering in the millions. Our collaboration
Steps to try to take care of
with our partners highlights the importance of our efforts to enforce the intellectual laws of the U.S. and protect American consumers and businesses. Last year alone, CBP effected, over the course of the entire year, over 33,000 intellectual property rights seizures worth over $1.4 billion of MSRP. In particular, since last year's Super Bowl, as Nick just mentioned, the special agent in charge here in Atlanta for HSI, we've seized collectively, CBP and HSI, over $24 million worth of intellectual property, not unlike what you're seeing before us today, and over several 100,000 pieces of merchandise. Operation Team Player is a concerted effort to focus on our IPR enforcement, our law enforcement partners. And we do so, again, as previously mentioned, year-round, currently with a particular focus within the weeks and months leading up to the Super Bowl itself, but not only here in Atlanta. It is a nationwide effort. The violations of intellectual property, again, just to echo what my colleague mentioned, are not victimless crimes. Consumers are hurt by receiving poorer quality items than they expect, sometimes at a danger to themselves and those who would use them. Businesses and American innovators are undermined by the losses in their bottom lines and the theft of their brands. And transnational in our mind with respect to our mission responsibilities and our mission focus. This type of collaboration that we're talking of today and that you're seeing has really not, is not the exception, folks. It is and has become the norm for each and every one of us. And certainly CBP is proud to be a part of this interagency team as we continue to do our best to protect American businesses and American consumers from these types of threats. Thank you again, and we hope you have a safe and secure event. Thank you.
The next will be Richard Mason from the Atlanta Police Department.
Thank you, NFL, and Atlanta will be very brief. This is yet another great opportunity for us in Atlanta to work closely with our federal partners to ensure and safeguard that the fans of the NFL are not going to purchase counterfeit goods while in Atlanta. We'll still be out there until game day, so I'm sure there's some nervous people out there in the flea markets.
Good morning. I'm Bill McSwain, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, headquartered in Philadelphia. I want to thank the NFL, first of all, for being a great partner to law enforcement and for giving us the opportunity to publicize a lot of the things that all of us on the stage are doing to try to keep the community safe. Each year, we know that the Super Bowl unites Americans in a unique way. It's a celebration of the game, it's a celebration of the players, it's a celebration of the competitive spirit that helps to define our country. But unfortunately, with all the good that comes along with events like the Super Bowl, there's an opportunity for criminals to prey on unwitting victims. These events attract people looking to make a quick buck through counterfeiting. Now, criminal counterfeiting and piracy are serious crimes. When fans spend their hard-earned money on NFL tickets and merchandise, they deserve the real deal. And today, I am here to announce criminal counterfeiting charges that my office has brought to help ensure that NFL fans and all of us get what we pay for when we attend a big event. My office has filed 6 criminal indictments against multiple defendants alleging their involvement in a scheme to traffic in counterfeit tickets. This widespread conspiracy spanned multiple states, involved 13 defendants, and covered numerous sporting and concert events. Many of the individuals that we have charged have allegedly defrauded NFL football fans by printing, distributing, and selling counterfeit tickets to Super Bowl 51 in Houston between the Patriots and the Falcons, and Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis between the Eagles and the Patriots. Now, the initial arrests in this case were of two individuals named Eugene Smith and Eric Ferguson, both from the Atlanta metropolitan area. Ferguson is alleged to have printed the counterfeit tickets for Smith, who then supplied the tickets to several additional individuals who solicited buyers and sold them. Both Smith and Ferguson have been charged with producing and distributing counterfeit Super Bowl tickets in 2017 and in 2018. Ferguson has pleaded not guilty and awaits trial. Smith has pled guilty to 4 counts and awaits sentencing, and he is in custody in Philadelphia. The second wave of indictments from my office targeted additional printers, distributors, and street-level sellers. Multiple arrests occurred this week through a coordinated federal, state, and local effort across multiple states. And as fate would have it, one of these individuals, named Damon Daniels, was apprehended en route to Atlanta, thanks to the great police work by the Duluth, Georgia Police Department. The arresting officer reported that Mr. Daniels' car was filled with printing equipment and cardstock, presumably to resume counterfeit ticket sales at this year's Super Bowl. Now, if convicted, these defendants face a range of penalties determined primarily by the amount of financial loss that is attributable to their conduct. And by bringing these charges federally, we have assured that many of these individuals will serve serious prison time if convicted. I want to extend my thanks to the FBI Philadelphia for spearheading this investigation, and to Special Agent in Charge Michael Harpster, and to Assistant Special Agent in Charge Joe Bushner, who is here with us today. Thank them for their leadership. And to our local partners who served as boots on the ground. They acted swiftly when we learned about events unfolding in real time, often as individuals were meeting their victims. Thank you to the Philadelphia Police Department and Commissioner Richard Ross, to the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office and Attorney General Josh Shapiro, and his first Deputy Chief, Bureau of Investigations, John Kitzinger, who is here today, and to the New York Police Department, to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, to the FBI Field Office in Atlanta, and finally to B.J. Pack, the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, and his office. This case serves as an important reminder to all of us who enjoy sporting and concert events with friends and family. Most importantly, as has already been stressed from this podium, when you are buying tickets, you must consider the source. The safest route is always to purchase from an approved source. Many fans believe that if they are not purchasing tickets, for example, from a scalper on the street, that they are safe, that it's okay to buy tickets on a third-party website because the sellers can be tracked and traced. I'm here to tell you that is not always the case. The majority of counterfeit sales happen not on the streets, but actually happen through the internet. The FBI and the Department of Justice and my office take counterfeiting and piracy very seriously. Economic crimes like these will continue to be a focus of my office and of the department. At this time, I'd like to introduce my colleague and friend from the FBI Philadelphia Field Office, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Joe Bushner.
Thank you, Bill. You've heard a lot about collaboration here this morning, and first and foremost, the FBI wants to thank our law enforcement partners involved in this investigation. There were over 30 state, local, and federal law enforcement agencies that participated in our effort over the last 3 years. In particular, we want to thank the Philadelphia Police Department, the New York City Police Department, the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office, as well as the District Attorney's Office in New York County. Their proactive efforts leading to numerous arrests, literally dozens of arrests, and their sharing of intelligence is what fueled the federal investigation. and we really couldn't not have done this without them. This case grew out of a public safety partnership between our FBI Special Events Program, the NFL, and in particular the Philadelphia Eagles organization. In the early stages of the investigation, there were literally hundreds of people being victimized at any given Eagles event. Utilizing innovative techniques, FBI agents, Philadelphia police officers, as well as Eagles security and Eagles ticket individuals who involved with their ticketing, came up with these techniques that really put a curb to what was going on, to the point where we trickled it down to some having just only like a dozen victims, to even a few events where there was no victims. And that was a lot of efforts by our partners and a lot of law enforcement out on the street proactively engaging with the victims and actually turning around and getting those people locked up then and there. I have to commend the NFL. There was two situations that stick out. One where a family flew in from Hawaii and another where a family flew in from Germany. The family from Germany, family of four, a father and three kids, flew all the way in to see their first NFL game, were subsequently defrauded, completely cooperated with everything that was being done, and the NFL took steps to try to make them whole, and we're always taking to fans throughout this investigation. As the U.S. Attorney mentioned just a few days ago, the Duluth Police Department just arrested this individual with the means and the printer to move forward with a continued fraud. To thank all of our local agencies in this. We participated with the Houston Law Enforcement Agency back when the Super Bowl was in Houston, as well as the Minneapolis Police Department, and they in turn too took proactive efforts to bring people to justice. So in closing, the FBI would just really like to thank the NFL, Philadelphia Eagles for the partnership, and also for all the efforts of our local and state law enforcement partners. Thank you.
Okay. We want to thank everyone for attending today's press conference, and once again to remind fans to remain vigilant and not put yourself at risk, and above all to enjoy the game this Sunday. So thank you very much.